Hey everybody, Jaws here with GoodSense Vapor, putting together a quick tips and tricks video, kind of a how-to for the 306 DCA. Some of you are going to be receiving that pretty soon, and wanted to cover a couple important things. First off, this is how you'll receive the DCA. It's in three pieces. It's your MA low resistance 306 atomizer, the top piece of the DCA, and the lower portion. Um, the first tip I want to show you, and this comes from Grim Green, grab an old broken 510 battery if you've got one laying around, or an Ego or something. Obviously, don't use a working functional battery, and screw the 306 atomizer into that and do that, because that makes life a lot better. And use this technique for any time you need to remove the 306 from the DCA, or any sort of drip tip for that matter with using a 306. It's great tip. Thanks, Grim Green. Okay, so first of all, grab your MA306 atomizer and install that into the upper piece of the DCA, giving that like a nice snug fit there. And go ahead and screw that into the lower portion. And so when you've got that screwed in and like nicely snug, that's going to be its in its closed draw position. So it's going to be its tightest draw in that position. And it's really critical that the top piece, its interface with the atomizer, is really kind of snug, because that kind of dictates the gap as well. So I think once you get acclimated with it, you'll get used to it. And so you can adjust the draw, and I'll show you how you do that. I will grab my silver bullet here, and so this is screwed all the way together tight right now, and then I will screw that onto the silver bullet just slightly snug. You do not want to over tighten this. If you over tighten it, I'll come slap you. And there you go, she fires. So to open the draw on this, you would hold the bottom of the DCA, unscrew the top. Now screw the bottom portion back in till that's snug to the mod, and that you can feel that seated all the way down. And now screw the upper portion back in. And so what you've done there is increase the gap in the center, and opened up the draw a little bit. This will slightly move around in the top in this position, but that's just sort of the function of that, and we don't think that's really a problem. So so there you have it. And when installing the drip tip, you can just put that on there. When taking the drip tip off, I like to grab it by the top here and pull the drip tip off. If you have a tight drip tip or something, you don't want to get into trying, pulling the drip tip off and then the top of the DCA coming with it. So this will come second nature, this maneuver here. So there you have it. The next thing I want to show you is sort of cleaning of the DCA. So we will disassemble that again. This tip coming back in. Pull that apart. Okay. Now for cleaning, I just use warm water. Rinse this off, like once a week is kind of what I do. Just use some Q-tips, get in there and kind of swab it out. To go a bit further than that, we've designed the DCA to be a bit serviceable with this pin. So I'm going to show you how to change the pin right now. I use a jeweler's screwdriver flathead. Get the DCA bottom, turn it upside down on a hard surface. And then you're just going to take your screwdriver and push that pin, and just be gentle with it, but it will go, and it will go all the way through and fall down with the nylon washer that's in there. And the O-ring that's in there, you can kind of come in and fish that out. And so this is one of the things we've done to make this awesome. So to service this pin, you're just going to kind of clean everything out here. So this is the bottom piece. Now it's 4 parts. You've got the lower, this nylon washer, the pin, and the O-ring. So we will supply extras of these, so you, if you lose them, you have extras. So to service the pin, I would take, this is what we do, 1000 grit sandpaper. Just lay that down on a hard surface, and then give both sides of the pin like a nice sort of even drag across the sandpaper to expose a new surface on the brass there. Don't do it too much. In a sense, you're just using the sandpaper to clean it. So I'll give credit to Dave over at Super T. I used this technique from watching his videos when I got my Precise a while ago. So now that's all cleaned up. That's really nice. You can do this as you need. You'll see that it'll start to get a little brown, and then so what I do is I put that back onto the washer. Just kind of drop that back down inside there. if you have any issues with it going in there, you can kind of bounce it a little bit, and then if that any further, you can use the top of the DCA to kind of get it fished in there, screw it down, and you're going to need to screw the top in at this point and make that kind of snug, and then turn the DC upside down. You need to reinstall that O-ring. You'll notice when that pin is out, there's a little groove inside in the middle of the pin there, and that's so that when you put that O-ring back in there, it seats into the pin. So by giving this, and you don't want to go too hard, but and just kind of get that O-ring started, and then you can go back with your jeweler's screwdriver and use that to get that seated, and you'll feel it'll kind of snap into that detent, if you will, into the pin. And so that seals that all up into the bottom, centers the pin, and you're good to go. So that's fully serviceable. If you need a new pin at any point or washers or anything, just let us know. You can hit us up or hit me up at Jawzun at goodsensevapor.com. That's JAWZUN. And just one more thing here. I'm going to show you our cutaway. Really, really proud of this. This is awesome. It's a quarter cutaway on a DCA. The bottom here isn't finished, but it's through the drip tip. The drip tip's kind of tight for purposes, but so yeah, that's pretty awesome. We really like this. We'll be making some more cool stuff like this and post some pictures, but for right now we're making DCAs are all on minimal sleep. There's your DCA tips and tricks. If you have any questions, again, let us know. Thank you so much for your orders. We really appreciate it. We'll keep this coming. GoodSense Vapor, Jawzun, checking out.